Welcome to the Fantasy Football Hub YouTube channel. Today I'm joined by FPL expert FPL Salah, who has hit the button already on his Gameweek 10 wildcard. It's active. How are you feeling about it? What led you to hit the button, Abdul? We're going to get into your team, but first of all, when did you activate it and why?
Yeah, I activated it like on Saturday night. I mean, this was planned for a few weeks. If like all the viewers will probably know, watching the videos for the last few weeks has been planned. And it just kind of dead ended my team in game week 10, and just taking advantage of the Villa's fixtures, West Ham's fixtures, Liverpool's fixtures. So yeah, let's see, because I've got a lot of catching up to do, Jack, because I have been battered by the game week 8 wildcarders. And yeah, there is a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, okay, let's see. We're going to build this, as always, live on the Fantasy Football Hub My Team tool, position by position, and we're going to see what rating we get at the end of it, what the algorithm thinks to your team. Does it like it? Does it think it is an absolute disgrace to fantasy football? Who knows? Guys, as always, if you're on Wildcard, or if you're not and you just want to see how your team is doing and shaping up according to AI, have a look at this site. It's fantastic. We show it on every single video. You can get your team rated for free, as you can see on screen, by clicking the link in the description, as we're going to do with Abdul's team right now, his current draft at the time of recording, at least. All right, let's go for it, mate. You can start us off wherever you want. Who have you got?
Yeah, let's just start with the goalkeepers, Jack. So I've gone for Areola and Strakowska. So Areola, I think, it's quite obvious. He's only 4.2 million. West Ham's fixtures are immense, up until like game week 17 at least. And the goalkeepers have been so unpredictable this season, Jack. I don't want to spend too much on them. I've been rotating Turner and Pickford, from up until now, and I've only got one clean sheet so far. So it's not been good. So I'm happy just to have the stick and pick goalkeeper. The reason I've gone Strakowska over Turner is simply because I'm short on funds. My team value isn't great. And on top of that, I don't think I would play Turner maybe in one fixture over Areola up until game week 17. So I'm thinking I might as well just save that, that 0.1 million and just, stick with the set and forget keeper.
Yeah. So you're not tempted to hold on to Pickford after he finally repaid your unbelievable faith?
Oh no. I mean, Pickford is gone from my life. I don't think I'll
from your life
again. My life, yeah.
That's a crazy statement, but I don't blame you. Okay, fair enough. Let's get on to the defenders.
So I'll start off with I think the defenders is the most obvious one. I think I'll start off with Matty Cash. I think looking at Villa's fixtures, Jack, the next three at least, got Luton, Forest, and Fulham, and then they've got Bournemouth in game week 14. They've got a tough game against Spurs in 13, but that's fine. I just think those next three are really good, and that's probably where I'm thinking of, I'll probably look to get rid of Cash around about that time.
Okay.
Maybe after game week 14, but I just think those fixtures are too good. His attacking threat is immense. He's not, got any attacking turns in the last couple, but he's still there. I mean, he's flying down that right wing. And I just think, he's one of he's probably one of my nailed picks.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at the stats here across the season, 3.1 expected goals for a defender is unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's
I mean, it's just crazy. As I said, even like me buying him at 5.1 million, I think a lot of guys got him a lot cheaper at 4.6 and 7. I still think he's worth it at 5.1.
Okay, who is going to be next to him?
Second one, I'm going for Tsimikas. For me, he's one of the first names in my wild card. Right. I mean, we know Robertson's going to be out, for a good few months. He's getting surgery. And Liverpool's fixtures are, fantastic. All the way up until I'd say, game week 16, 17. Who knows, whether Robertson's even going to be back by then. And I just think 4.4 million. He's 4.5 now, but I got him in at 4.4. I just think it's too good to kind of pass up. Liverpool, kept a clean sheet last week. But no, Jack, as well. They only kept one clean sheet before that, but when the fixtures are good, the teams that will keep more clean sheets. It's just it's the way it works. Yep. We see that with Newcastle with their early tough fixtures, kept no clean sheets, and now they've kept I think 4 in the last 5 or something, and then Trippier's gone ballistic as well. So yeah, I'm happy with Tsimikas, and I think that's at least one of the advantages of going with a wildcard 10 rather than a wildcard day.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Get to have one of those, have Tsimikas there.
I mean, Simicast is not in my team, but yeah, I mean, just knowing now that he's going to be pretty nailed. I mean, there's been a little bit of discussion as to whether he's going to be nailed and there's potential rotation. I don't personally buy it. We've seen, players fill in the past, like Milner, even Gomez when Robertson's been out. But the majority of the time, it's Simicast starting, and maybe he'll come off a little bit, as we saw. Maybe he'll come off earlier.
I think he came off early last game week because they were down to 10 men.
Exactly.
And they needed a goal, so I wouldn't put too much into that. But I do think obviously there is a threat of Gomez. You're right, but from what Klopp said when Robbo got injured was, they've got options there, and to me it sounded like Simicast's first choice. So I think Simicast will play the league games, and Gomez probably the cup games and Europa. So I think he's fairly. I think he's a fine option.
Yeah, and definitely one of the advantages of waiting on the wild card, as you said, is he's nowhere near my team and a player that I'd love to get in. And given that Robertson is out for so long, I'm going to have to make a plan to get him in. I think, given how good his fixtures look for quite a long time.
Yep.
Okay, who is your third defender?
Gabriel from Arsenal. So again, his price is a gift, 4.7 million for an Arsenal defender. Again, there is a little bit of doubt around his minutes, but I do think now that he is. Arteta's going to be settled into this, kind of back four. And I think Gabriel, I would say I wouldn't say he's nailed, but I think at 4.7 million, you take that risk. I think he'll play, the remaining games. I think he's first choice, but I wouldn't be hugely surprised, if he's kind of randomly dropped, which I do, but I do think that's unlikely. But at 4.7 million, he allows so much, elsewhere, and Arsenal's fixtures are fantastic. Starting this game week, Sheffield United, all the way up until game week 15, good long-term fixtures. So yeah, again, I think he'll be a popular option in the wildcard as well.
Yeah, I think got to remember that he started the season at 5 million, and I think he is quite nailed now. I think that Arteta perhaps overthought things a little bit. I mean, obviously no slight on him as a manager, but I feel like he himself has said, probably to himself, I'm going to come away from what I was doing there, maybe messing around a little bit too much, or just trying things that are a little bit too unnecessary. And also Zinchenko is fit now, which is important.
And I think there was talk of him going to Saudi as well during the start of the season. So
that's
a great
point.
Played into it.
Great point.
I know Arteta really, really keeps his business himself. So it's always hard getting any information out of what's going on at Arsenal, early team leaks and stuff. So we don't really know. So yeah, I think he's fine for now.
Yeah, and as you say, at 4.7 million, you can't really go wrong there for an Arsenal defender at that price. And also, we've not even mentioned the bullet header. When's that coming? Because that's the thing with Gabriel, isn't it?
It's coming against Sheffield United.
They are very weak from defending set pieces. We do know that.
Yeah. Yes.
So there we go. Could instantly prove worthwhile in your wild card. Let's round off the defense.
Yeah. So I've got Gahey and Taylor. So Taylor just 3.9 million. He's starting at the moment. So again, he's just an enabler, a bench option. No plans to play him, and hopefully I don't have to. And Gahey, I've got there as he rotates well with one of my midfielders, which I will. He's a good first sub. Put it that way, and I'll explain his pick a little bit more when I tell you my midfield.
Now, the obvious omission here is not just Newcastle defence, but Trippier as well.
Yeah.
Just a little bit on that. Obviously, Trippier is expensive now. If you want to buy him off, just flat out, he's 7 million.
Yeah.
Did you have him before, though? Were you tempted to hold him at all in this wild card?
I was actually. I was thinking. I made a few drafts with. I actually managed to make a draft with Trippier, Son, Salah, and Haaland. But it was too many sacrifices. Really, really weak bench. And it pretty much kind of probably nailed me into a game week 18 free hit, in terms of how many players I would have missing. So yeah, it was just a bit too much having Trippier. So it basically became a choice of like Trippier versus kind of Son or Bowen, really. And I just thought having Trippier there kind of really just really kind of hampered the squad. And look, Trippier's been great. And we know that with great fixtures, that's how he's been, performing so well. He's got 6 assists, which have came in the last 5 games, right?
Yeah.
All the 6 was assists. And obviously, Newcastle have been keeping clean sheets. No doubt he's going to score well over the season, but he's not going to keep that same rate of output up, for the remainder of the season or even close to it. And if you look at their fixtures coming up, Jack, they've got, Man United, they've got Chelsea coming up. They've got Arsenal coming up. So I don't see, you know, those huge returns. So again, great option, but somebody had to make way. And I think Trippier, out of those guys like Salah, Son, Haaland, and Bowen, for me, looking at the fixtures, I think he was the weakest link out of them.
Yeah, I think it is worth kind of delving a little bit deeper on that point. I've got his points up from the past 5 game weeks, as you mentioned, and yeah, all his assists have come in those game weeks.
Yeah.
Pretty much the vast majority of his points have come there as well. So 54 points from game week 5 to game week 9. But then if I put the ticker from game week 1 to game week 4, just 5 points.
Yeah,
it's a huge difference. Obviously, that comes down to fixtures, doesn't it?
Exactly. It comes down to fixtures.
So again, as you say, looking at the fixtures now, if we're comparing them to game week 1 to 4, yeah, Arsenal at home, Chelsea at home, Man United at home. Yeah. They are home fixtures, of course.
They are home fixtures, and I think those fixtures are better for the attack. Like I don't see them not scoring and struggling to score those fixtures, but I don't see many clean sheets in those home fixtures. And the good fixtures they've got are away. So, you know,
yeah,
Wolves and Bournemouth. You know, you wouldn't be surprised at all with the clean sheets there, but they are away. So, yeah,
but you're right. Yeah, you would have to sacrifice another player that you think is more valuable, or maybe the upside is higher.
Exactly. Yeah, that's all it comes down to.
Yeah. No one for 1 second is saying that Trippier is not a fantastic pick. I mean, we've seen in the last 2 game weeks he's done really well. Still, game week 8 wildcard, I was like, you know, I got rid of him, and yeah, he's punished. And a lot of the game still do have him. He's high ownership, but ideally, well, hopefully, the upside of other players that we're going to get onto will be greater than Trippier. So let's move on to the midfield.
Yeah, I'll go with the 3 obvious picks. I think everyone's going to have these on their wild card, but it's just Salah, Son, and Saka. I think for me, they're absolutely, you know, nailed in my team now. So again, I made the decision of, you know, going Son over Trippier. So I don't see me going without Son now. I know the fixtures are tough, but he's playing as number 9 Jack. You know, he's got a bit more minutes this week as well. The early subs are, you know, a concern. But you know, Ange just, you know, seems to be doing that a lot, even with Maddison. So he doesn't hesitate in taking off his big players. But I still think even with that, he's still worth sticking to. And if you look at his underlying numbers and the fact that I still do think he will be the penalty taker. You know, I know there was a quote. I don't know if you've seen it, but Maddison was asked, you know, who the penalty taker is, and he said that, you know, they all practice the penalties, and you know, whoever's feeling confident. So very vague answer, but I just think Son is one of those players where he's a selfish player. We know that, and which is great for FPL, you know, as an FPL asset. So I do think, you know, him being the captain, he will be on them.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really think there's another option there. I don't think it would be Maddison. I don't think it would be Richarlison, to be honest. So I don't really know who else there would be.
And he has the best record as well. He has the best record into penalties.
There you go. And as you said, he is a relatively selfish player, which is good for FPL. And there's an outside chance of him being involved in a golden boot race. I mean, who knows? The current form that he's in, 7 goals in his last 6 games. It's very impressive stuff. He's obviously made a great start to the season. Yeah, he's one of those that I like. The fixtures aren't phenomenal, but as you say, he's playing in number 9.
Yeah.
I feel like Maddison isn't going to be in this team. Let's get to your 4th and 5th midfielders.
Yeah. He's not.
If so, why not?
I just think, you know, I did play with the Maddison instead of Son draft, but I just think Maddison is one of those players, again, he's a good option. He's going to score well over the course of the season. But like, you know, comparing like Maddison to like a Bowen or a Diaby, or even a Mitoma right now with the fixtures that those other players have got, I think those you know, assets are better than Maddison over that period. But I don't think they're better than Son, because I just think Son is like an elite FPL asset. So I just think the fixtures dictate that, and I just think Son is more of like a focal point in that Spurs attack. And again, we've seen from his past seasons, Jack, as well. He's a goal scorer.
Yeah.
Whereas Maddison is more of like he does get goals, but it's like mostly probably, you know, more of a creator. And
importantly, Salah back in the team now. It feels right.
Finally, I can sleep well. I can sleep easy now, Jack. I've got Salah back in the team.
How's it been without him the last couple of game weeks where he's done so well?
It's been terrible, heartbreaking. Honestly, Jack, it's been horrible the last few weeks. It's because, not only has he punished me, not only have I gone against my guy, like last week, I mean, he's had 2 penalties in the last 2 game weeks, and his fourth goal, his second goal against Everton came in like the 97th minute. So it's just been like, you know, it's not been good, but now I'm happy to have him back in my team, and he's not going anywhere for a long, long time.
Sure thing. We'll get on to captaincy later, but I have a sneaking suspicion that he may be your captain for this week, but we'll save that for a few minutes time. Let's finish off the midfield then. This is where I think it is up for debate. You can kind of go where you want to. Who have you got right now?
Yeah, these are the 2 positions where I'm not. These midfield positions, I'm not too set on them just yet. So these are like, you know, I'm probably setting about 12 players. Like okay. These 2. So right now I've got Bowen and Palmer, and I just think Bowen's fixtures are, you know, phenomenal. You know, he's been putting up good stats. He's kind of on that same form that he was, like, you know, 2 seasons ago, when he got like something like 12 goals and like 18 assists or something silly like that. He's been, you know, playing centrally. He's been playing well. He's playing 90 minutes in every single game so far. West Ham's fixtures are phenomenal. So got Bowen there, and then Palmer. I just think he is just too good value to turn down. I think he's similar to Tsimikas in terms of 4.9 million. Well, he's 5 million now.
Yeah.
You know, he's on penalties. He looks nailed to start. And the fixtures aren't there. But again, it's more of what he allows in other places as well. You know, he's a penalty taker, he's a starter, and he allows me, like, you know, to get a Bowen or a Son, you know, instead of you know like, you know, somebody else, you know, with a lower price. So he's an enabler, but also he's a good option. And and going back to the Gahey pick is that, you know, I'm happy playing Palmer this week against Brentford, of course. I'm happy playing them, you know, in game week 11 against Spurs. Game week 12, Man City, you know, Everton have got Palace have got Everton at home, so you know, I can bench him for that game, and then, you know, honestly, like, I'm happy to play him. Then the Newcastle game as well, I play Gahey instead of Palmer, and then after that, I'm also happy just to play Palmer. You know, until whenever's necessary. I just think if you've got a player who's that kind of nailed to start, who's on penalties and who's going to get a decent amount of minutes. You know, they can get penalties against anybody. We've seen that he got it against Arsenal. Nobody expected him to score against Arsenal, although he almost did score another against Arsenal as well. So he's been playing well as well. But yeah, you're a Chelsea fan. What do you think?
No, I love the pick. I love it. I mean, you can't really go wrong with 5 million, but I do think he's pretty much as nailed as he can be. I mean, he's been last few game weeks, definitely our best attacking player. Yeah, he just looks really good. I as I said in another video, I got him wrong. I didn't think he was going to be this impactful.
Yeah, I don't think anybody did. Like,
but fair play. Like, yeah, he's really stepped up, and he's performing really, really well. And nailed on penalties. We saw there was a little bit of a debate with Sterling.
Yeah, I've seen that, but
he is on penalties until he misses one.
Yeah, you know? I would say so, because Sterling was not happy about that. But I think Enzo came over and said, "Look, give it to Palmer." So yeah, I think he's going to be on them for the foreseeable.
I'm sure Palmer is on penalties. It was just Sterling that was kind of saying, you know, I feel like I want this one. But yeah, I mean, even despite the penalty, he looks really good. He looks sharp, as you mentioned there. Had a good. It wasn't really even much of a chance, that kind of snapshot, but it was very close to being a goal. And yeah, I mean, I think if you can have a plan in place to potentially swerve the tougher fixtures, not that you necessarily have to, given that he is on penalties. Yeah, but you're right. From 14, not that he isn't playable in all these fixtures, but from 14 especially, the run is fantastic again for Chelsea.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, a word on Saka as well, because I think that having Palmer in there allows you to go for someone like a Saka. We'll come to the rest of your team obviously shortly, but he is not in a lot of teams right now comparative to where he was at the start of the season. I know his ownership is still high, but if we're looking across, you know, teams like mine, for example, Gameweek 8 wildcards, he wasn't in many at all. Yeah. This is potentially where you get the points back, right? Sheffield United at home.
Exactly. And this is the biggest advantage of the Gameweek 10 wildcard is that, firstly, the Arsenal players and, you know, the Arsenal fixture. I know a lot of people can bring Saka in with their free transfer, but then they're going to be looking at getting rid of the likes of Son or a Maddison, you know, good assets, whereas the wildcarders have the advantage of, you know, building that whole team. So yeah, hopefully that's where the advantage comes in. And you know, and it's a tough decision as well, going from Son to. I mean, obviously, if you're going Maddison and Saka, first of all, you need to find that money from somewhere. So not many people can do that move without a hit unless they've got money in the bank. And then Son to Saka is a really tough decision, and I'm not sure I would even do that if I was in a position of in a game week 8 wildcard and I had Son and no Saka. So yeah, I do think if you look across Twitter and all the engaged managers, the ones who wildcarded earlier probably won't have Saka this week.
Yeah, I mean, I won't have him for sure. And it's a little bit scary not having Saka, Sheffield United at home. We don't know for sure if he's going to take the next penalty. I would expect him to, but nonetheless, I mean, who knows what score that could be. I also haven't looked phenomenal going forward, I will say, but they have had slightly tougher fixtures, and we know what they are capable of. So I'm not worried about Arsenal's attack. I think they'll be fine. Okay. I know they've seen a big dip from last season compared to now, but I think they'll be fine. But yeah, the one thing that annoys me about Saka is this thing they've got going on with passing the penalties around. It is annoying, isn't it?
He is still the first point choice taker, I think. If they get one, he takes it, and then maybe if they get another one, then he passes it on. But I'd rather that wasn't the case.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, then that rounds off the midfield. It's nice. I mean, let's talk a little bit. I just want to see who else is potentially in your thinking for the mid-price midfielders, because that is a very contentious spot.
Honestly, that is a spot where I could have anybody. I could have Matoma and Diaby. I could have Gordon. And I've had a few drafts, like even just yesterday with Gordon instead of Palmer, and Matoma instead of Bowen as well. And the thing with Matoma is that the fixtures for Brighton are fantastic, but we know De Zerbi likes to rotate. But the thing is, if you look at Matoma's minutes, he's played 90 minutes in almost every game. He only got benched once against Bournemouth after the Europa League game, where he came on at halftime and scored 2 goals. So I don't know if we're kind of overplaying his rotation. The thing is, only time will tell. And I think I like his minutes a lot more than I think other people kind of rate his minutes. But there is that doubt there. And I think with Bowen, there's no doubt with his minutes. Yeah. So, but then with Palmer, of course, he's a better option than Palmer, but he's 1.6 million more. 1.5 million more. So it just comes down to price, really. Of course, if I had enough money, for Matoma in that Palmer spot, he'd be there. Of course. Possibly even Diaby as well. But it's just weighing up the options. Diaby's a great option for the next 3 as well. The good thing about Diaby is that after the next 3 games, you can just transfer him out to Mbeumo, whose fixtures pick up again. That's one thing I've been kind of toying with as well, but just can't seem to find him. I would probably have to sacrifice, Bowen if I want to go Diaby, and I just think Bowen's fixtures are too good, and his underlying numbers have been great as well.
Yeah, I think what I like about all these mid-price mids is that they're, we call them all mid. I'm calling them mid-price mids. They are quite different in their pricing, but their pricing seems quite fair in relation to each other. I mean, the difference between a Palmer and a Matoma in terms of their value is clear, but then, as you said, that's why it's 1.5 million difference. And then jumping up to Bowen as well, you have the minutes risk perhaps of Matoma compared to the 90-minute man in Bowen. That's kind of shown in the 1 million, 0.9 million price difference. Yeah, it's nice. I like it. It gives kind of scope for you to go where you want and kind of trust your gut a little bit, because I don't think anyone's really saying that any of these players are considerably better than others. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's up to you, which I like. It's nice to have options. Okay, let's move on to the forwards now.
Yeah, I think the forwards, you can probably guess, Jack. Haaland and Watkins. I think Watkins is nailed. Again, those next 3 fixtures are fantastic. He's been punishing me badly for the past few weeks, and yeah, starting off at Luton at home. He's got a goal and assist threat. His numbers, his underlying numbers, like since Emery's been there, have been like elite, like just kind of top 3, just behind Salah and Haaland. So yeah, he's another nailed pick. And Haaland, yeah, I'm going with Haaland. I know a lot of people went without Haaland in Game Week 8. It's worked out well for them so far. I don't think now is the time to go without Haaland though, because in about 5-6 game weeks, you're going to need 2 transfers to bring him back. And you can build a team. When we've got enablers like Gabriel, Tsimikas, Palmer, I don't think you've got those enablers there to bring to have the likes of Haaland, Son, Salah, and Saka in the same team. So I don't see there much being a big benefit of going without Haaland now.
No, I'm just thinking there when you're speaking, just if you were to go without him, you'd be dropping him down to. I mean, let's have a look at for. There isn't really anyone obviously in his price bracket, but I guess maybe someone like a Darwin could be tempting. But then even if you were to spend that money on across your midfield, getting the best picks, getting Tripper in as well, I don't know if the benefit is necessarily there, as you say now. Whereas perhaps, well, we've seen it was 2 weeks ago, but I think it was more of a decision on a Game Week 8 wildcard. Sure. Yeah, those two pick themselves, don't they, really? And Watkins, he's got to be in there. He's one that a lot of Game Week 8 wildcarders like myself didn't necessarily have, even though that's a mistake now. But for value reasons, I kept Alvarez. Now I'm going to have to try and get Watkins in. I think he's just, he's as close to, I don't want to say essential, but those next three are just way too enticing, aren't they? Yeah. Yeah. And then how much money have you got? Because according to the tool here, it gives everyone 100 million. Do you have enough to get to an Archer for your final spot?
So I've got Archer in this draft. Archer's my last player, and then I've also got 0.3 million in the bank.
Okay, nice.
So I've got a bit to play with there. Again, those positions, Bowen, Palmer, and Gahey are the three positions that are kind of up for grabs at the moment. I mean, what I looked at earlier was, Harry Maguire. Yeah, don't laugh, but he's only 4.2 million. And he rotates really well with Palmer as well. You can if you look at the rotation, there's United's fixtures after Man City are pretty good. And he's only 4.2 million. Again, he's not somebody that you have to play every week. And again, as I said, I'm happy to play Palmer when needed, even in the tough fixtures. So Maguire allows me to go Palmer to Gordon as well.
Okay.
So that leaves me 0 in the bank, and that's a draft I made last night, but I just wasn't sure. I just think with Maguire, there's a bit of uncertainty, and obviously, United have been terrible, but again, look at his price, 4.2 million, and they have got good fixtures. They have got maybe a clean sheet in them, over that period, and then Gordon. But then I don't know how. I don't know if Gordon is that much of an upgrade on Palmer, if especially when you take the price into consideration.
Yeah.
So it's just something I'm not sure about at the moment. I don't know.
That is close, to be honest. Obviously, you have the penalties with Palmer, but Newcastle going forward just looks so good right now.
Yeah, and look, Newcastle, they've scored the most goals. They've got the highest XG in the league. They've been fantastic going forward. And Gordon, for now, is nailed. He's nailed in that left wing spot. Barnes is out until the end of December. Joe Linton played in midfield in the same matches. So Gordon and Joe Linton started, in the same game, whereas Joe Linton started in midfield. So that tells us that Gordon is nailed in that left wing spot. He is getting subbed a wee bit early, but at that price you can't really complain.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a tough one. That's what I'm kind of really pondering at the moment. Is those fixtures, is those three positions, the fourth and fifth mid, and the fourth defender. So yeah, I don't know where I'll end up. Come game week 10, but yeah, it's only a few days left, so I need to make up mine quick.
Yeah, well, no, it looks like a very, very strong team to me. Let's talk about captaincy finally. Who's it going to be on for this game week?
Yeah, without a doubt, Salah. I think he's best option this week, for sure. Nottingham Forest at home. United have Haaland has got United. I think he got 3 goals and 2 assists against them last season.
Yeah.
However, I don't know. I mean, United have been poor, but I can't see that sort of scoreline happening again. Saying that, he's capable of getting a hat trick against anybody, Jack. So, but yeah, I think you've got to play the fixtures here. Okay,
so that is the team then. A 96% team ratings, very, very high, of course. 68.4 predicted points. If I offered you that right now, all things being relative in context, would you take that?
I think that would be a decent score. Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, I'm hoping for 100. I'm being greedy. I need to make points back from those game week 8 wildcarders.
Yeah, I mean, at least Salah's back in now. That makes me feel reassured, because for a while there I was thinking, this is not good for your brand. It really isn't. We saw it a little bit last year as well. It's just I don't know. I just don't know how comfortable you can be with that.
Yeah, I mean, last year I started with Salah and he actually punished me because you let me down so many times when I captained him and Haaland hauled. And then this year it's been the opposite. So yeah, we're on rocky ground, me and Salah, but wow. I'm sure we'll make it back up now.
The question is, could it ever get to the stage where you would change your name because of your hatred towards Mo Salah?
Ah, never.
What if he did something? What if he did something truly terrible? What if he committed some horrible crimes? Could you still go with FPL Salah?
I don't know. It depends on the crime. I don't know. I don't think that's a question for this.
Well, you know, we get political. We get political and deep on these videos all the time. Yeah, clearly we don't. But anyway, that's enough of that. I like the team. I think it looks very solid. Yeah.
Yeah, happy with it.
I think as well, importantly, it is different enough from, you know, the Gameweek 8 wildcard to get some upside there. Tsimikas, you know, if you go for a Maguire perhaps as well, Palmer as well, these guys weren't really options for Gameweek 8 wildcarders, but now they look super solid, and yeah, the upside's there. I mean, having Saka, Son, Salah, Watkins, Haaland as you know, that power five. Yeah, that's where the bulk of the points are going to come from, and that is just really, really solid.
To be honest, I've conceded the fact. I mean, I think there is a few differences from the Gameweek 8 wildcard, but I think I've conceded the fact that I've lost out against them. Okay. And now it's I'm not going to make those points back, like you know those 4 goals from Salah. You know, Salah's been the main reason really, and Watkins as well, but mainly Salah. But I'm just, I mean, you can't really think about what you've lost in the past. Now you've just got to go from where you are really. Not, I wouldn't be trying to kind of try to go to differentiate from the Gameweek 8 wildcard just for the sake of it, to try and get those points back. Just simply go for the best team. Whether that be similar to the Gameweek 8 wildcarders or not, because the big differences and the points and the catching up is going to come when you make your transfers 3 or 4 game weeks down the line, when the double game weeks come. So there's plenty of time to catch up. So yeah, I'm just trying to get try and get those kind of the Gameweek 8 wildcarders points out your mind really, and just go in a fresh mind.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so that is going to do it for this video, guys. If you are on Gameweek 10 wildcard as well, or even if you're not and you just want to see how your team is shaping up and some potential transfers as well, and you want to build it just like we have done here, as you can see, player by player, you get the Gameweek rating, team rating, it's all there for you. You can tinker as much as you like. Also, as I've shown throughout this video, we've got predicted points, see all the fixtures, how many points Gordon, for example, is expected to get in every fixture going forward, the Opta stats as well. Sign up to Fantasy Football Hub. You can get your team rated for free. And then if you want to take advantage of all the other stuff I've just mentioned there as well, then there is a 7-day free trial and 30% off. So if you want to be as good as Abdul at the game, then that is the key, isn't it? That really is the key to success in fantasy football this season. Abdul, thank you very much for revealing your current team. Of course, it's not locked in, as you said. A couple of positions still kind of up for debate. We'll see come the deadline on Fantasy Football Hub, the website, link down below, of course, what your final team is going to be. I'm interested to see who you go with in those 2 midfield slots as well. Obviously, still some games in Europe to be played this week, which could potentially change things. But for now, that is the team. I like it. Thank you, mate, as always. And
Thank you.
See you next week to see how it's gone.
Yeah, hopefully 100 points.